Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's look is all about bridal glam. I think I'm kind of having one of those year wedding blues moments because I got married this January and now it's December and I am just taking a stroll down memory lane. Look, what a beautiful, beautiful bride. It was the only time I got to get pretty this whole year. It was so much fun. I miss it. Let's take a little quick look. Okay, enough. So this video is pretty much for people that are getting married and maybe they can't get a makeup artist and you have to do your makeup yourself, or if you're a new makeup artist in the industry and you're gonna, start out doing weddings. This is kind of a no-fail look. You can do this with these colors or similar colors to this, or if you have a different skin tone than me or a different eye shape, just message me and I will kind of try my best to help you pick out shades for your wedding day or for one of your brides. So this is a look that's really easy. There's a few things that I really stick to with every bride that I do when it comes to a matte contour, when it comes to setting. It's just kind of things that have worked for me throughout the years, so I would love to share that with you. I have so many brides that I'm so grateful for throughout the years. I've had so many beautiful ones, and these are looks that I've done on them, so I want to share it with you guys. And if you like what you see, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to find out how to become a bride or just gorgeous on a regular day, keep on watching. Okay, so first thing I always do for every bride is I always put moisturizer on their lips first. So I'm gonna be using the Elizabeth Arden Fragrance-Free 8-Hour Cream. This stuff is amazing, especially for dry lips. I don't know what it is, even myself on my wedding day. It's like every bride either is drinking a lot of water or they haven't drank any water and they're just like super dry all day. So this you definitely want to put all over the lips, let it absorb for a little bit of time, and then by the time that you get to the lips, it's going to be perfect. Alright, so the base that I'm going to start out with is my MAC 24-Hour Extend Eye Base. You really want to get a really good base, something that's going to make the eyeshadow stick so the color is going to last all day. You definitely don't want anything to crease, you don't want anything to move. A cream, cream shadows are really beautiful for in the moment and they look great in a photo, but that's not going to be ideal for a bride. You need something that's going to last like 12 hours. Or depending on the bride, they might want it to last till the next morning, because I definitely have had people ask me that. So you're gonna put this on with your finger, and this goes on like a cream, but it's gonna dry down flat, it's gonna dry down really even. It kind of has like a satiny finish. Bring you guys a little bit closer so you guys can really get the full effect. So I'm gonna be using two palettes today in my eyes. One is gonna be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and the other one is the Charlotte Tilbury, the Pillowtalk. These are like the easiest bridal colors. They look so pretty on, they're soft, they're not too dramatic. I mean, this is like the ultimate bridal palette to me. It's gorgeous. Well, the neighbor's dog is having a barking fit, so sorry about that. So the first color that I'm gonna be grabbing is this color called Orange Soda. It's like a light kind of peachy brown. And I'm just gonna put this right in the crease. I'm just using a fluffy brush because, again, I kind of want this to set as the base. And you just want to go back and forth a few times. This is gonna set the whole thing. This is your color that's in between the brow and the crease. I mean, the brow and the lid. This is that in-between color that kind of diffuses everything. Okay, now for the lid, I'm gonna grab this light color. It's the first color in the Charlotte Tilbury palette. It's called Prime. So I guess this is what I'm priming the lid with. So here's the thing with these shadows, I'm gonna be real with you. I really love the colors, but these shadows you kind of have to work with. They're not the easiest to apply. I don't know why, I just feel like they can get a little bit dusty. So that's why the MAC primer is really great. You need something a little bit tacky. It won't work if the primer is a little bit more dry or more of a powdery finish. You need something that's gonna be a satin finish. So this will help it to stick, and I'm just using a flat brush. Also, always with a metallic, a finger. It just always works. And because this is a super sparkly shadow, I'm gonna actually go on top with something less sparkly on top of it to just kind of soften the sparkle a little bit, but still have that very kind of shiny light brightness underneath. So I'm gonna go back to my Soft Glam palette and I'm gonna grab the color called Tempura, which is the lightest color. It's a light kind of matte, a matte like beige. I'm gonna go right on top. So my shimmery color is still there, but this is just adding a little bit more brightness and softening it a little bit so it's not so sparkly. Okay, the next color I'm going to add is the pink color in the Charlotte Tilbury powder, and I'm going to kind of just go right on the outer corners and meet that center color. Then I'm going to grab the pink color in my Soft Glam palette called Rose Pink, and I'm going to go right on top of that one. This has a lot more pigment. I'm letting it kind of go a little bit into the center, but not too far over. And I'm letting my brush kind of do the trick. Next color that I'm going to grab is the brown color in the Charlotte Tilbury powder, and I'm going to go right on the lash line and into the crease. But not all the way in, just like the outer corners. And you're slowly starting to build this. Okay, now with the puffy brush, I'm gonna grab this palette. I'm gonna grab the color called Rustic. It's like a medium brown. That palette is so disgusting. It like has been everywhere with me. I love it, but I've used it like so many times. Okay, and I'm just gonna blend out softly that brown color. To me, this is like the perfect bridal look because you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of smokiness, you get a little bit of shimmer, but it's still really romantic, like that light kind of pinky peach that everybody wants. Now the bride I like to add darkness to the end. So now with a little brush, like this guy, I'm gonna grab the darker color that's called Cypress Umber. Blend it out. And like this technique, like the light, medium, dark is always gonna work, especially if you're a new makeup artist figuring out kind of your bridal style. There's definitely been times in my career when I was really young and I'm like, I don't know what to do for this bride. This is always what I go to. Adding a little bit more of that darker color. And your brush plays like the most important part of this whole thing. So see the way that I'm holding the brush, I'm kind of holding it against it and letting the puffy part kind of just do its job. Okay, and with the clean puffy brush, I'm gonna grab that orange soda color that I used first, and I'm gonna go right on top to kind of soften everything up. And I love to keep kind of building, so I'm gonna grab the Charlotte Tilbury palette again. There's a peachy color in there, and I'm gonna go right in the center, so on top of the lightest color and on top of the darkest color, so right in between. This is just gonna kind of marry the two. And with a little teensy tiny brush, I'm gonna grab Tempura, that light color again, and just go underneath my brow bone. I don't want a shimmery highlight, I just want it to be natural. So for liner, I'm gonna use my Morphe, it's actually an eyebrow brush, but it's I use it for eyeliner. I'm gonna dip back in Cypress Umber, and I'm gonna just go really close to my lashes and kind of shape out the liner. This is also a really great trick if you're a new makeup artist and you're not great at liner, because I know when I first started out, I definitely wasn't good at liner. I faked it all the time. So this is a great trick. If you do a brown shadow first, and then you go in with a little bit more of a precise black liner, this brown shadow is gonna kind of help to cheat the liner. So if there's any skips or it's not perfect, you're not gonna see it as much. It's not gonna be from a light color to the liner. And if your bride or you wanna do a wing liner, I would still do that same trick. I would go out with this brush and kind of map out your liner. That way you know kind of where you wanna go with it. But if it's not super sharp, it's okay. Another thing too, you can actually just do this as the liner and you don't even have to worry about black if you're really, really nervous about going with a black liner. This does the trick as well. Another great like realistic trick is that this always looks so bad without foundation. So even if the bride is watching as you're doing, which I hate when they do because this is like the ugliest look. It doesn't look good until foundation and concealer's on. But if they are watching this and then they watch themselves get their foundation and concealer on, they instantly look better. So it's only up from here. I'm gonna actually skip a step and do my eyebrows because I feel like I can't really judge my liner without doing my brows. So for bridal, for brows, I always do a pencil and then I do a shadow on top, just because I feel that the pencil is really gonna set it in, and then the powder is gonna help to kind of keep it on. Also too, you have to think about when you're asking a bride if she does eyebrows or not. I actually always ask that right before I do them, because I know that eyebrows really will change your entire face, but some people, if they're not comfortable with eyebrows, they're just gonna feel weird. Some brides are just gonna feel really weird if they've never worn eyebrows before and then you just go in and give them this full brow. So make sure that you always talk to your bride and you ask them, you know, do you want to do eyebrows? Do you like eyebrows? Have you done them before? What do you normally use? Because if they normally use a powder, a pencil is going to feel so dramatic on them. Okay, so I'm going to grab my amazing Lash Studio dark brown color and I'm just gonna go on top to give a little bit extra brow. And I love like a dark full brow, but obviously you have to talk to your client and figure out what their kind of brow situation is. So definitely for a wedding day, you want to do a 3-step brow. You want to do a liner and then a powder and then a brow gel. I mean, it doesn't even need to be a liner actually. You could even do like a brow primer. I know that Anastasia also has a brow primer. Just something so the powder sticks onto the liner for the brow, because again, this is a really long day and you don't want your eyebrows to be moving anywhere. And it needs to be waterproof realistically, because there's a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of, you know, if your groom's taller than you and he's crying and he squishes your head, we can't have a half a brow. All right, now I'm going to be doing eyeliner. This is gonna be hard for me because I don't have a mirror that is gonna be held up, so I have to do it with my hand holding it. And I'm not that talented, but whatever. Okay, this is the Inglot liner. This is just the color black. It is lethal, this liner. So if you want your eyeliner to not go anywhere and you want it to be super, super black, this is your eyeliner of choice. I'm gonna use that same Morphe brush because it's in my hand. All right, here we go. I'm just pressing it in. And because I already did that nice brown liner, this is actually making it much easier. If that brown liner wasn't there before, this could end up becoming pretty dangerous. This liner is epic, but you have to work quick with it. Like if you are not fast, it is dry. I've been using this liner forever though. You have to be really careful too though, because if it gets in the lashes, it could also be not good. This one's kind of old though too. I've definitely had this for a few months now. All right, let's try and do this. There's a liner, a wing. I'm gonna put lashes on. I'm just gonna use the Ardell Demi Wispies. They always look good. I always ask my brides too, I'm like, if you are a big crier, then definitely do individual lashes, because sometimes a strip could be a little bit risky. Always give extra squeezes on the ends. The ends can never be trusted. If you're a beginner makeup artist too, I definitely suggest using a clear glue opposed to a black glue, because if they open their eye while you are applying the lashes, which every time they do, you tell them don't open up your eye and they open it, it's gonna get gray glue all over your beautiful hard work, and then you're gonna be mad and you're gonna be stressed out and you're gonna start to sweat and you're not gonna know how to fix it. Maybe that's happened to me once or twice or 20 times. Okay, now for my favorite, most important part, the biggest transformation ever, is skin. So I'm gonna be using my Becca primer, and this primer works for me. I really like it, but you always have to ask your bride how their skin is, if it's oily or dry. If some people are super oily, you want a mattifying primer, something that's really gonna kind of black out the oil and help to keep them matte all day. I have pretty normal skin. I'm definitely a little bit dry in some areas, but for the most part it's normal, so I need a primer that just kind of fills in any kind of fine lines. I definitely want something for brightening, so this primer works for me, but again, you want to kind of talk to your bride, see what works for them. Primer smells so good. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Power Fabric Longwear High Color. This is a Giorgio Armani foundation. This is a very dark color, but the rest of my body is dark. A lot of brides nowadays too are spray tanned, so sometimes you'll do a trial, you'll think that they're one color, and then you get there and they're a completely different color. Kind of like myself. My spray tan girl, I was like, please make me look like I just came back from the Bahamas. My Kat Von D contouring palette. This one I think is light or medium. I don't know. Whatever color it is. I'm gonna use the middle color. The thing that you want to remember too, especially for wedding makeup, is that you want it to look good in person, but you also want it to look good in a photograph. So that's why I'm actually choosing to use a powder contour instead of a cream, because I just want it to really kind of set in and be very prominent. Like I want when you take a photo for you to look extremely sculpted. Make sure you get it into the hairline too. You know I'm all about this lip. Okay, now my nose contour, I'm going to use the darker color in there. Alright, I'm going to take a little brush just to kind of buff this all out. Remember when I said that you look so much better once your foundation and concealer is on? Told you. And I love a really bright concealer, but for a bride on her wedding day, you definitely you don't want to go too light, because when flash photography happens, you don't want it to be so bright that she looks white under her eyes. How many times have we seen that? And with my finger, I'm just going to take the lightest color and just go down the center of my nose. No bridal video is complete without baking, so let's get to it, honey. While that's sitting, I'm going to use my Kat Von D contour as my bronzer. I'm just going to take it up a little bit higher. I'm using the medium tone color because you really want it to stay all day. So by using matte, it's not really going to move, and then you can add a highlight wherever you would like. I'm going to do a little bit more on my nose. We're just going to brush that powder away. For blush, I'm going to use the Glossier, the color paint. This color, I think it's called Beam. It's so pretty. It's like this really light peach. I mean, that looks like nothing, but it's gorgeous. With a blush brush. And I'm just going to go on the apples of the cheek. I'm a true blushing bride. For underneath the eyes, I'm going to use this LA Girl, this Glide On Gel Liner. I think this color is called Champagne. And I'm going to go on the inner waterline. Brides always tell me that they want to look bright and romantic. I'm going to do it on the inner corners too. So I definitely think that this is great for that. My favorite liner ever that I always use, especially on brides, is Teddy by MAC. And it's like a shimmery, bronzy brown. And I'm going to go right underneath the lashes on the bottom. It's like this really pretty coppery kind of color. Kind of connect it a little bit to the outer corner. Then I'm going to grab the brown from the Charlotte Tilbury and just go right on top of that Teddy. And you want to really keep everything out on the outer corners to really give a really sexy, subtle, kind of romantic eye. All right, I have two more steps on the top of the eye. So remember how I did that black liner? I'm actually gonna grab the darkest color, the Cypress Umber again, from the Anastasia palette, and go right on top of the black. Again, great trick if you need to kind of hide any imperfections of the liner. Okay, one of my favorite products ever is by Colourpop. This is called On the Cusp. It is broken. It's Super Shock Cheek Pearlized. I'm holding on to it for dear life. I could probably get a new one, but this works fine. It's like this like gooey kind of, you really can't tell, but like when you put my finger in it, it's like gooey. It's like a cream, but also a powder, but a shadow. Actually, I can really kind of mush it back into its form. Okay, whatever. Anyway, wait till you guys see what this does to the lid. So remember how I did that matte kind of light color on the lid? I'm gonna use this with my finger right on top of that. What? Oh, it's so pretty. This is also really easy for me to do right now because I don't have long, crazy nails. On the inner corner. And I love to do it right on the center tip of my nose. Drop in here and then a little bit over here. For mascara, I'm gonna use the Morphe mascara. I definitely suggest using a waterproof mascara because we all know that there will be tears at the wedding. And really make sure that you get underneath the lashes when you're doing mascara because that'll kind of hide any like lashes that have foundation on them or any bit of like a light color. Let's get your bottom lashes. Brow gel, and make sure that you don't skip this step because this is what's going to keep those brows in place all day. I love to outline my lips with the same powder that I used. I'm just going to give my lips a little bit more shading because this is going to give that beautiful pout. Lips, I'm going to use my Pat McGrath liner. I use this one all the time. I'm going to overdraw my lips. So I'm going to start out in the center and bring it down a little bit, especially on this side because I'm a little bit uneven. And then when I get closer to the corners, I'm going to bring it up, follow my lip, because I have really wide lips, so I don't need to make them any bigger that way. Same thing in the corners, keep it close to my natural lip, and then I like to really bring it up in the center. And then make sure that you bring it down a little bit, especially on top, because otherwise you'll see where that kind of like the crease of your natural lip is. So I love this lipstick color. This is Charlotte Tilbury. It's called Bitch Perfect, which is exactly what a bitch wants to be on her wedding day. Perfect. It's like the best like peachy nude. And for gloss, I'm gonna use Charlotte Tilbury and Pillowtalk. I love this color, it's so pretty. All of these lip plumpers, whatever they are so beautiful. And they like taste really nice, they're menthol-y. All right guys, here it is. I wish that I was getting married again. To the same guy, of course, I love you, Colin. But getting glam for your wedding day, there's really nothing like it. It is so much fun. So I will make sure to link everything below. If you're a new makeup artist and you have any questions, please ask me. I love answering questions. I love helping people, especially new to the industry, because I know that it's really hard to kind of start out on weddings, especially during this time. So I am here to help you. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.